Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I've actually talked in a video. My latest videos that I've uploaded have only been speed paints, and I'm very sorry that I haven't actually gotten to make like more fully fleshed out videos, which I promised to do. I'm very sorry about that, but life has kind of been getting in the way, and I'm sorry if you can hear some rustling in the background. I'm not home alone currently, so that's why. But this is kind of a random idea I had when I received a art supply advent calendar from my dad. And so I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun if I made like a art challenge now in December, drawing every single day up to Christmas with each art supply that I received. And so I thought, hey, why not make a YouTube video out of it? Or maybe more. And I also want to mention that with this challenge, I'm not trying to be like a purist with my art supplies. I'm not trying to use like only the art supply that I have received. I'm allowed to use other art supplies as well. And also the drawings are not supposed to be like amazing pieces of art. It's only meant for like practice and actually getting me to draw, because I've been very bad at drawing lately. And I actually want to get into the habit of drawing more and not being worried about it being perfect. So the first day I received a Sharpie brush pen, which was very opaque and dried matte in this very nice, almost like mint forest green color. And day one I just wanted to focus on actually nailing down an art style for myself, because recently I've been getting inspired from lots of different things, mainly arcane, and wanted to change a few things with my style. And so I thought that this would be fun to kind of do the first day, so that I have something to base off of the rest of the days. And so I used the green pen as a background, as well as some facial details, the eyes and the hair, and I thought it turned out pretty good. So day two, I wanted to focus more on like anatomy studying, and I received a L'Aquarelle paint palette. Not a palette, but like paint, I don't know what to call it. One of those like small, one singular color of dried paint. And it was in the color Sennelier red. And so I thought, hey, that's kind of perfect. If I'm doing a anatomy study, I can use the red as like the color of the muscles. And this paper in this sketchbook that I'm using is not really supposed to have watercolor in it, but I found out that it actually worked with this. As long as I didn't apply too much friction or use too much water, it actually worked out pretty fine. The paper that I'm using is 140 GSM, which I think is a little bit thin, but it worked out fine. I chose to do an anatomy study because it's very difficult, and it's really something that I want to get better at, because I've noticed many times that as I'm trying to draw like a full-bodied figure, it often looks bad or looks wrong, and I want to get better at like instantly seeing if something is wrong and being able to correct it, and get better at just like understanding the proportions. But also I happen to go to the gym, so just like understanding the different kinds of muscles, it kind of kills two birds in one stone. I want to give credit to @ZeffyFR, who made the reference. I found it on Pinterest, but I'll put a link in the description to get to their Instagram account. Something you'll see soon is that I didn't use the page next to this one to do day 3, which was because I wanted to actually draw a full-bodied figure, knowing all of these muscles now, but I didn't record that because I was struggling very much. But yeah, I used 2 of my midliner pens to actually make the muscle fibers, which was, I must say, very therapeutic to make, to just like sit and do the lines and stuff. It was very nice. And so I used 2 colors, one that was a bit lighter and one that was a bit darker, and It was very interesting actually to look at, and I also wrote down the names of the different muscles, which my mom's boyfriend, who is a naturopath, later looked at, and he actually was pretty impressed with it, so that's nice. And then I used a white gel pen to give some highlights, and then day 2 was done. Now moving on to day 3, I received another watercolor, but this time it was in a tube, and it was also from L'Aquarelle, and the color was Yellow Sophia. And for this I used my water brush pens instead of like a normal brush and water. I actually used my water brush pens for these. I've never actually used watercolor in a tube, or like from a tube. I've always only used it as dried in a palette before. And I think I actually prefer to use it from the tube. I liked that you could choose as much water as you wanted to have like a different thickness and stuff. And I thought it worked very well with the prompt that I chose for this, which was hair. I've also noticed that I don't draw a lot of afro-textured hair. I don't know if that's the right vocabulary, please correct me if I'm wrong. I also have like a lack of knowledge about afro hairstyles, which I also want to get better at and actually learn about. So I'm very sorry if I use any wrong vocabulary. I was having a little bit of trouble with the one with the braids, but it was very interesting to look at references and try to mimic the texture and the thickness and the flow of the hairstyles. It was very fun actually, and I really want to do it more. And then day 4, the pen I received was a Copic Chow in B15, so like a purple color. It did bleed through the paper, but I was pretty okay with that. And for day 4, I decided to do facial expressions, because my favorite thing to draw is like people, characters, and so I really want to get better at drawing exaggerated facial expressions. I get very inspired by like Disney, especially like looking at Disney movies and slowing it down and seeing all the frames of the different facial expressions is very interesting to me, and I actually used like a Disney expression reference sheet for doing these expressions. I also slightly had a art style crisis while doing this, but that's fine, that happens. I'd say it's very difficult to draw not stiff facial expressions, because it's all about like how delicate the different parts of the face can be, like the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the eyebrows, and if they all read differently, it can be very different kinds of expressions. But doing this exercise actually really helped, and helped me like not be afraid to exaggerate stuff. And it was also just very fun to draw different faces and like higher and lower the eyebrows and stuff. It was really fun, and some of these I'm actually very happy with. So I'm very happy that this turned out the way it did. And then day 5, as you can see, the pen from the day 4 bled through. For day 5, I got a Artline brush pen. I have Artline liners, but I've never actually had a brush pen, and I did like it quite a bit. It didn't leak through with the strokes, but holding down the tip to the paper actually made it bleed through, which was kind of sad, but oh well. It was very fun to have a lot of line variation in these drawings. I decided to draw like fabric folds and cloth, which I want to get better at drawing, and it was very abstract references I found, so I don't think actually this will be very useful, but just like understanding how gravity works and bends the fabric is very like interesting, and it was pretty tricky to get across the shadows with only one pen and like the color of the paper, and I think it would be a lot easier if I had more values to it. But still, it was very fun to do, and yeah. And then for day 6, I wanted to do some poses. I struggle a lot with drawing poses because of both anatomy, but also that I often don't push it enough. I want to get better at being expressive with my poses. So that's partly why I chose to redraw 2 drawings I had made of poses that conveyed emotions. So I chose anger and hope for this one, and I'm not too proud of how this turned out, but I'm happy at least that I can see where it looks bad and where I could change it. I think I was just very tired and not very motivated to do this day specifically, but I'm happy that I can see the mistakes and stuff. This day I also got a brown or gray jelly roll gel pen. And I have used these before, the white ones, and it was very nice to work with. It was very opaque and matte in the size 07. And yeah, I'm not too proud of this page, but it was still important to do. And then for the last one for this week, I received a black Sharpie pen, which bled through very easily, but it didn't matter too much to me. And for day 7, I decided to focus on drawing feet. Feet in different poses and directions and stuff. Because I only ever draw feet from 2 different angles, and I want to really get better at like the anatomy of a foot and like stuff like that. And you might see that I'm being very sloppy with these ones. Both because the pen was very thick, like it was difficult doing details with it. But I did try my best, and some of these I actually turned out liking quite a bit, even though it was very difficult. And I used references from Pinterest, 2 different references, trying to break down the foot into simple shapes so that I won't have to use references all the time. But using references is very good, don't get me wrong. And so these are the ones that I made. Thank you very much for watching this first video. This was actually very fun, and it was something to look forward to every day for me. And this was only the first batch. If you liked this, then feel free to go to my channel and check out my other videos. And if you like those, you're more than welcome to subscribe. Maybe leave a comment, maybe leave a like. It helps me a lot and it makes me very happy. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye bye!